Let me go back again to Mr. Isaac and Mr. Badal. Mr. Isaac, let me start by asking you, now in terms of next steps, in terms of priorities, the next meeting of the GST Council, we understand, is on the 21st. It's likely to be on video conference. The meetings that happen over video conference don't really take any substantive decisions, so I don't know what is going to come off that meeting. But what can we realistically expect now in terms of priority areas, in terms of the decisions that could be taken over the next few months?
Well, I am not looking for changes. I want things to settle down.
You don't want any more changes?
No, the changes will have to come, but let us settle down. Not every time you meet, you change your rate, or you bring in that, bring in this. Instead of that, we have undertaken a number of measures. Let it stabilize. Let the forms come. Let the e-way will become effective. And so on and so forth. And let's see the outcome. And then we'll have a considered view of the thing, rather than knee-jerk reaction.
Okay, no knee-jerk reaction. I'll ask you a pointed question. Since Kerala was the first state to actually bring down the VAT on petrol and diesel to provide relief to consumers, do you believe that in earnest there is likely to be a decision on bringing petroleum products under the ambit of the GST?
There is such a simple, direct way of tackling it. The whole issue is that the last 4 years excess duty has been hiked from 200 to 300%. Just roll it back. Issue solved. Now you are talking about GST, just a council, consensus reach, and so on and so forth, deliberately delaying things. Roll back the excess duty hike. The issue is 3/4 solved. And we can certainly discuss how to bring in the GST. There's a compensation law. States will have to be compensated. And that's going to be a big issue, how it is going to be compensated. That's such a huge amount. Therefore, I am saying there is a simple, direct way of tackling the petroleum price hike, roll back the increase in the excise duty. That's our position. Okay,
Mr. Badal, let me come to you, sir. Those are the priority areas as far as Mr. Isaac is concerned. Let there be stability. Don't tinker. Let there not be any knee-jerk reaction. What would you believe should be the focus areas as we start year 2?
Yes, first of all, my apologies because I momentarily lost the audio part of it, and so I could not be part of this discussion.
But we did get it back on track.
Honorable Minister from Goa, and just a small reaction there, but that for your listeners, that 5 of the biggest states of India collect 50% of the tax, and the bottom 15 collect 10% of it. So it was a great sacrifice, when food grains, like a state like Punjab, where 40% of our tax base was just based on food grains, which was subsumed. So all I want to say is that this great sacrifice should not go in vain. There is always room for improvement, and there is a lot of headroom. We should not pat ourselves on the back saying that, we've done wonderfully, this is good. I'm told that the GDP or the economy is growing at 6-7% every year, but I don't see this kind of buoyancy in tax growth. So obviously there is something wrong with either
have you hit the 14% number
in terms of compliance.
Mr. Badal, have you in Punjab hit the 14% number?
No, ma'am, because as I said, that if 40% of your tax base has been subsumed, we are left with just 60% of our tax base. So 40% and a 14%, you cannot expect a state to grow at 60%. That's impossible. So at the moment, Punjab is in a compensation state, and I'm actually worried that post 2022, how are we going to run this state? Because if such a large part of your tax base is actually subsumed in the GST. So, in fact, in the GST Council, we've been asking the GST Council, and Mr. Arvind Subramaniam, unfortunately, he left, that if you can do a case study for Punjab.
Okay.
What Punjab actually wants is, and this is no secret, that right from the Kashmir meeting, there were certain issues, whether it was from the textile sector, job workers. States were consistently asking Government of India and giving suggestions. At that time, there seemed to be a certain degree of arrogance that no, we know best. They were not listened to. Came the November elections, and then the whole thing went into overdrive, trying to rectify it. And I agree with Dr. Isaac that let things settle down, but keep listening to the states and the stakeholders.
Okay.
And if you do that, we will be able to perfect it.
Okay. Mr. Singh, let me put that point that we just heard there from Mr. Badal. And, I had a conversation with the West Bengal Finance Minister, Amit Mitra, yesterday, and he was pretty much echoing the same, that there are issues that state governments are facing on the revenue front, and this compensation picture may in fact, while 5 years is committed and guaranteed by the centre, that this may in fact have to continue as well beyond that. There is no constitutional guarantee to that. But what's your own sense about the revenue story and, the point that we just heard there from Mr. Badal as well?
We must remember one thing, that India is a big and diverse country. Every state has different problems. The problem which is in Punjab may not be in Kerala or West Bengal or Odisha. They have, like UP, there is a problem about sugarcane farmers.
Yeah.
In Kerala, it may be about coconut. There are different problems in different states. But government has promised that for 5 years, they'll be compensated with 14% growth. And 5 years is a long period in which things can stabilize. They can find ways to increase their revenue. And ultimately, things will be definitely better.
Okay, but as Mr. Badal was pointing out, do you believe that some states will require some specific solutions? For instance, a state like Punjab, where a substantial portion of the tax base has been subsumed by the GST.
Yeah, states have opportunity to raise their concerns in the GST Council. Honorable ministers of the states, they are raising issues. It is not that they are just brushed under the carpet.
Yeah.
They are discussed, they are deliberated, and solutions are found. That is why all 27 meetings of the GST Council, all decisions have been unanimous. It is not the majority rule or minority rule and all that. Discussions take place, and out of the discussion, best solution, even for states, it is found, it is acceptable, and it has been happening. On the other hand, Badal Sahab, what he has said, that we should listen to the stakeholders. We have been listening to the stakeholders. All our issues are given wide publicity. We have been holding meetings with the tax holders. We have been getting feedback. We have structure of getting feedbacks, taking action on that. In all our committees, law committee, our IT committee, our single interface committee, we have officers from the state governments and the central government. They have detailed discussions, and after discussions, issues are referred to the GST Council where decisions are taken.
Manpreet Badal, Thomas Isaac, Mr. Singh and Movin Godino, thank you very much for joining us here on the GST Decoded Conclave. Appreciate your time, and we wish all of you the very best of luck.